What's up everyone? Right now we're on I-495 and headed into the Tysons area. This is a perfect video for those who want to see the McLean area without actually having to go there. I'll do that for you, and I'll also stop by some attractions, the popular ones, while talking about them a bit more in detail. Now, I've said this before, McLean has two sides to it. There's the business powerhouse and premier shopping destination McLean, which we'll be headed into first, and then there's the quainter side of McLean that you'll see a little later. While I'm sure you're familiar with the creature comforts of the area, throughout this video, you'll see that it really has a bit of everything, especially beautiful natural wonders. So first we're gonna go through Tysons because you can't talk about McLean without mentioning this area. To me, the two areas are basically synonymous, especially because of their overlap. The post office even recognizes the 22102 McLean zip code as part of Tysons Corner. So if you live in this area, you can decide to list your address as either McLean or Tysons. All right, now we're entering Tysons, and over here is the shopping bag building, which I've covered a bit in my things to do in McLean video. I wouldn't really call this building famous, but it still gets attention decades after it was built, not for the usual reasons, but because a lot of locals here hate how it looks. So now going here just to take a picture in front of the building is actually one of the unusual things to do in McLean if you're visiting. Just behind the shopping bag building is Tysons Corner Center. Now, a lot of people in the country and even in the DMV area go here just to shop and dine. When you do, you've got to condition yourself because you'll be covering a lot of land. This is the largest shopping center in the state and the Baltimore, Washington area with 2.4 million square feet of retail space. You've got 5 big named anchor stores here like Bloomingdale's, Macy's, and Nordstrom's. Plus, you've got over 300 specialty stores here to choose from. There are famous brands here like Uniqlo, Lululemon, and Kiehl's, and numerous luxury brands like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, and Michael Kors. There are a lot of good restaurants here too, like Seasons 52, a fresh grill and wine bar that's famous for its award-winning international wine list. You've also got regular restaurants and fast food chains here too, giving you more options. Whenever there's a holiday or special occasion, Tysons Corner Center also hosts events. This fall, there's going to be a festival in the plaza, which includes activities like pumpkin carving, a pet costume contest, and face painting. There's going to be a beer bar, a photo booth, and a fall market too. What's exciting about this general area is that there's always something brewing up in the background. The county board just approved changes to Tysons Corner Center. The old Lord & Taylor building, which has been empty for a while now since 2020, will be developed into a high-rise residential and/or office building with 36,000 square feet of retail space at the plaza level, like what you'll find at Tysons Corner Center's plaza. This will make this mall even more of a retail therapy haven. Heading up, we've got Tysons Galleria here on the right and the Borough to the left. The Borough is a mixed-use development with office spaces, entertainment, shopping, and more. If you're a big moviegoer, here's where you'll find the luxurious Snow Place Icon Theater. It's got 14 auditoriums ranging from spacious 226-seater ones to more intimate 45-seater options. You've got a fully stocked concession stand, and they serve beer and wine too. Walking around the Borough is described as a walkable area, and I really think it's a great place to explore on foot, especially if you want to see the largest mural in the DC area because it's just right here. Now, if you're a big art lover, it's better for you to go across the street to get to the Wentworth Gallery in Tysons Galleria. I wouldn't think that this mall has a gallery in it because it's always been famous for your usual creature comforts. Together, Tyson's Galleria, Tysons Corner Center make up the Tysons Corner Mall, the premier shopping and dining destination in the state. In fact, for many residents in McLean, especially those located in the West, it's much better to go here for creature comforts rather than heading into DC or Arlington, for example. Because of this, residents often call Tyson's Galleria Tyson's 2. It's known for fashion houses and upscale boutiques like Chanel, Cartier, and Versace, so it's the place to be if you want to splurge on designer items. If you've watched our Things to Do in McLean video, you'll know that Bolero is on the first floor of this mall too. You can bowl, play beer pong, cornhole, arcade games, or simply watch a game at the sports bar. So there's still a ton you can do here without having to splurge. Okay, we're headed north on International Drive right now. Once you're out of the Tysons Corner Mall area, you'll see more office buildings. Now, this is something the Tysons area is really known for. It's a place for work and play. We're gonna hop on Jones Branch Drive because I wanna show you some big headquarters here. Here at the intersection of Jones Branch Drive and International Drive is Tysons West Park Transit Station, which you'll find conveniently located near the Freddie Mac headquarters. Base is Independent McLean. The top private high school in the Washington, D.C. area is here too. You've got the Appian headquarters, Hilton headquarters, and more on this street. We're going to head back to Tyson's Galleria on the other side this time. Tyson's also has a great nightlife experience, and one of the best in the area is right here at the best hotel in town, the Ritz-Carlton. At the lobby level of this hotel is the Tyson Wine Bar. There's a really good ambiance here. Dark wood interiors, soft lighting, deep colors, perfect for a romantic evening. Now, I really wanted to show you this side of Tyson's Galleria for the restaurants because there are some great picks in this spot. There's the Palm right outside the Ritz-Carlton, which is pretty much all around the country. There's Fogo de Chao Brazilian Steakhouse, which has an open kitchen to show you the centuries-old technique of cooking, giving you a glimpse and a taste of Southern Brazilian culture and cuisine. Okay, let's hop on Route 123, one of McLean's major thoroughfares, because I want to show you the Capital One area before we drive around downtown McLean. We'll pass by two metro stations along the way. The first one is Tyson Station, just outside of Tyson's Galleria. Now, eventually, we'll come across I-495 and just a bit further away from the Beltway, the McLean Station. Both of these stations are on the Silver Line, by the way. What's interesting in this area is the baseball field right over here that's under the metro track. So it may be odd for those on the metro passing by this area to see a game in action. This area has a lot of activity going on. First of all, it's home to the Capital One headquarters a bit further there, just beside I-495. Most people come here for fun at Capital One Hall though, because at the top of the building on the 11th floor is a 2.5-acre sky park that gives you gorgeous views of the Tysons area. This sky park is called The Perch, and it has almost everything you'll need for a laid-back nightlife. If you're a beer lover going out with peers who like cocktails, you don't have to worry here because you've got both the Star Hill Beer Garden and the Rum Roast bar here. If you want good food to go with your drink, there's a restaurant and bar here called The Wren. If it's just food for you, you've got retro themed food trucks here like Grandpa Hank's Jamaican Kitchen and Los Dos Carlos Street Tacos. Some people just want to sit and relax here and take in the views. You've got picnic tables there, a heated fire pit, a sculpture park, and a spacious lawn area. For others who want a bit more action, there's a game plaza here which features some classics with a twist like a giant chessboard. And of course, there's the Perch Putt, an 18-hole mini golf course. You get all of this in one area on a roof deck and also get to enjoy it with the whole family because the Perch is child and dog friendly. Okay, enough about the Perch. Let's move on to the east side of McLean. Now, I could just drive straight on Dolly Madison Boulevard, but I want to show you an important park off of Chain Bridge Road called Louisville Park. It's a nice public park Nothing fancy, but it has most of what you'll need if you want a quick escape to nature. Nice wooded areas to walk around in. Plus, there are tons of large trees here for shade. There are soccer fields and other courts here, and there are lots of games and practices here daily. It's never really empty. There's even a playground for the kids. You can see all of this on my Louisville Park walking tour that's on the channel now. Head to the Moving to McLean playlist to check it out. And there's even a community garden here where you can rent a plot to grow your produce. What I like about Louisville Park is the large and free parking space right here, which is always nice to have, especially because Louisville Park hosts a few of McLean's most popular annual events, like the McLean Farmers Market for some fresh produce from local farmers every Friday from May to November, and the much anticipated McLean Day that's hosted every spring, when this park really just transforms into a hub of fun, from music to food, petting zoos to car shows, and more. Now I'm actually going to head to McLean Community Center next. I'll go through Ardmore Drive just to show you the neighborhood of Broad Hill McLean Estates a bit, because why not? On the way to the community center, we'll pass by McLean Central Park. I want to drive here a bit just to hit two birds with one stone. This is another one for your unusual parks too, complete with tennis courts, basketball courts, and walking trails, with the bonus of having a stream running through the park. There are also playgrounds here, though locals have found that they are dated and need much improvement. Just this year, a group of local moms took action to make the playgrounds better. Ideally something like Clemyjontri Park, so kids of all ages and abilities can have fun. But this project exceeds the Fairfax County Park Authority's budget. This is why the residents have started a fundraising campaign to close the funding gap. Now, even with that underway, residents here still love going to the park, especially every October for the MPA Art Fest, when the park showcases the masterpieces of local and regional artists. If you missed the festival, no problem. You can head to the McLean Community Center nearby to visit the MPA Gallery. McLean Community Center is pretty much an all-in-one place for fun and the heart of McLean, since it brings everyone together for whatever reason. They've got such diverse offerings here that almost every interest is covered. Other than art exhibits, there's a 383-seat theater here, a wide range of classes and camps for all ages. They've also got the old Firehouse Center, a dedicated space for teens that offers game tables, after-school care, summer camps, and more. Now, this center wouldn't really be called a gathering place without events. A lot of McLean's annual events are hosted by this community center, like the McLean Chocolate Festival every January for the people with sweet tooths. We have Trunk or Treats every Halloween. Then there's Arts and Crafts Festival every December, and even the McLean 5K run, which raises funds that go to local fire trucks and other social services through the McLean Community Foundation. Okay, another one of McLean's gathering places is just across Dolly Madison Boulevard. I'm talking about the downtown area. Now, it feels weird to refer to this area as a downtown area when you have a proper one like Tyson's next to it. This area is actually called the Central Business District, but I'll call it downtown because that's a mouthful. Anyway, this is probably where you'll spend most of your time. The feel here is quite distinct from the Tysons area. Here there are fewer taller buildings and fewer big businesses and chains. Instead, you'll get more small local businesses. The mom and pop restaurants here give the downtown a more small town feel compared to Tysons, so you kind of get the best of both worlds here. And I really like that. Most of McLean's famous and distinguished restaurants are here, and they're owned by residents. Going down along Old Dominion Drive, we have Arakasa, an Afghan restaurant that has been featured on the Washingtonian's very best restaurant list. I'll turn here on Beverly Road so you can see Greenberry's Coffee Company, a well-loved cafe in the DMV. We're going to pass by McLean Chain Bridge Center to show you Kazan, a lovely Turkish restaurant. Continuing east along Chain Bridge Road, we'll see some more restaurants. Langley Shopping Center has several stores for your essentials. Sweet Leaf Cafe is a great spot for clean food. Think of organic salads and sandwiches. lots of greens, grains, and everything in between. Nearing the end of the street, we've got McLean Family Restaurant, an American restaurant that's one of the OGs in the culinary scene here. And finally, here's Asan, another distinguished restaurant that serves authentic Thai cuisine, from spicy curries to tangy salads. All right, on our last few stops, we're going to be driving around the Langley area of McLean. It's even quieter here, fewer establishments, and lots of wide green spaces because we're much closer to the Potomac River now. The closer you are to the river, the closer you'll be to DC, and the pricier the properties are, especially considering that most luxury homes in McLean are located here. There's a property here along the Potomac River that was listed for $63 million back in 2018. And last year, another mansion in the area was listed for $39 million. I don't want to get into that too much. This is a driving tour after all. So we're here now at Clemyjontri Park, which I believe is McLean's most popular park. Not for wilderness, not for fitness amenities or anything like that. It's famous because it's got a big playground where every child can play, which is what its tagline says. Most playgrounds do not cater to children of all abilities, but here, Clemyjontri's is made with specialized playground equipment and surfacing so that children who have wheelchairs, walkers, braces, or developmental disabilities can explore and mingle with their peers. For example, the first Liberty Spring in Virginia was installed here. The wheelchair accessible swing is pretty rare, and there are only 15 of these in the entire country. It's the first all-accessible playground and park in the state, which makes it really special. This is what they're trying to do in McLean Central Park too. Clemyjontri Park has always been a place for children of all abilities if you look into its history. The land was donated by Adele Leibowitz, and she emphasized to the county's park authority that her vision for the park was a place that also caters to children with disabilities. The park got its name from Leibowitz's children: Caroline for CL, Emily for EMY, John for JON, and Patrina for TRI. Continuing our drive through the Langley area, we'll head over to Scotts Run Nature Preserve, one of the few nature preserves in the country's park system. Whenever you want to escape the traffic, the noise, or the mayhem of McLean, this is the place to go. Now, this place has always been known to be a peaceful retreat even before it became a park. Edwin Berling, a DC attorney, once had a cabin here until the 90s because he loved the peacefulness of the place and because it's accessible to the nation's capital. And he was serious about making this his quiet getaway. So much so that he refused to put up telephone lines here during his stay because he didn't want to cut off the trees. When Berling died, a local developer bought the land to build luxury homes on one half of the land while preserving the other half for walking trails. When the neighbors found out about this, they sprung into action right away, leading to some peaceful protests along Georgetown Pike and students going door to door to raise awareness to stop the development. These locals got the support of the Nature Conservancy and even the Virginia senator at the time, William B. Spong Jr. And they got positive coverage from the Washington Post and the New York Times. The public outcry really helped them in appealing to the Northern Virginia Regional and Fairfax County Park authorities to take action as well. In the end, the locals voted to raise their taxes to raise enough money to buy the land back. In September of that year, the land became a public park called Drainsville District Park. It was renamed Scotts Run Nature Preserve after a creek that starts at Tysons Corner and ends at the Potomac River over a waterfall. Today, there's still a remnant of Berling's cabin here, although it's just a stone chimney. It may not be much, but it stands as a reminder of the power of civic action that made this park what it is today. It's a good thing that residents fought tooth and nail to save this preserve because it's actually an ancient waterway that has an estimated age of 600 million years according to the U.S. Geological Survey. If you're wildlife enthusiasts, you'll love the sheer diversity of native plants here. Scotts Run is especially known for its ancient hemlocks, and these plants are reminders or living souvenirs of the last ice age. The park is popular among hikers during spring when native plants are blooming, and it gets even better throughout the season. Speaking of hiking, Scotts Run is a perfect place for all levels of hikers because you can really choose the kind of adventure you want here. There are short and gentle winding trails that are ideal for a day with the kids. There are rocky trails where you have to scale steep hills and cliffs and go from boulder to boulder. And of course, you've got trails just along the Potomac River giving you gorgeous waterfall views. The park trails aren't blazed, though it's small enough to not get lost. The only blazed trail you can explore here is the Potomac Heritage Trail, a network of trails that offers a glimpse of the country's history. So although it may not seem like it, this preserve has a lot to offer. Let's head to another scenic place. It's right along George Washington Memorial Parkway, and many people who drive on this road don't know that they're passing by the crown jewel of forested sites in the Potomac River Gorge as they head into DC. We're going to go to Turkey Run Park, a 700-acre land of streams, riverbanks, upland forests, and more. This park is owned by the National Park Service and managed by the George Washington Memorial Parkway. It's a biological diverse prize in the DC area, according to VNPS Registry Chair John Dodge in this 2013 article. He cited 3 reasons for this. One is due to the location. It sits at the boundary of the Piedmont and coastal plain, so the park will have some plants from each region. The second reason is due to the park having both rocky and sandy regions along with open and forested areas. These are habitats that make good homes for wildlife. And lastly, the park is just along the Potomac. This watershed's flood brings plants and seeds from habitats far away. Turkey Run Park's forested areas alone are quite diverse. There are 6 forest community types here that are either ranked as state or globally rare. And even if you visit the park often, you'll still find something new because it changes with the season. During the spring, you'll get a sea of blooming wildflowers and warblers flying around the park. During the summer, you'll hear woodpeckers perched high in thick canopies. During snowfall in the winter, you'll spot some small animals darting around. During fall colors of reds, yellows, and oranges decorate mature trees and old growth forests. All these are really good reasons to hike at Turkey Run Park. There's the perfect trail here for you to explore depending on what you want to see. Turkey Run Trail is a short half-mile long trail that'll take you through upland forest. On this trail, you can even hike to the nearby Langley Oaks Park. The famous Potomac Heritage Trail is the path to take for river views as it follows the Potomac River. It's a bit more challenging though, since the trail is narrow and rugged. It's worth it for bird watchers since a wide variety of birds frequent the river here, like turkey vultures and hawks, or for plant enthusiasts who visit during spring to see the Virginia bluebells in full bloom. There's also a small stone beach along the way, and while you can't swim here, the view is a sight to behold. On your adventure here, you can also visit Dead Run, one of the most beautiful streams in the Beltway. The landscape is pretty rugged here. You'll see cascades, waterfalls, and even natural water slides during spring when there's more water. That's it for our driving tour of McLean. Thank you so much for coming with me as I drive you around town. I hope this gave you a good glimpse into what it's like to live here. If you're ready to continue your deep dive into all things McLean, check out our Moving to McLean playlist right here on the screen. I will see you in the next video. Peace.